A couple years ago, I discovered a hidden world of content on YouTube. People throwing themselves down mountains on bikes. I didn't think it was real, but once I found out it was, I wanted to go. Who wouldn't? It looks like fun, blasting down a bicycle-powered roller coaster, hitting jumps, steezing it up. I discovered our lift access park in Ontario was called Blue Mountain. I thought it'd be the same as what I saw on YouTube, and I'll ride it just like the person in the video. Though small, the hill at Blue Mountain looked like impending doom. The first few moments down the green run had me wondering if I'd made a terrible mistake. And over the course of several following trips to the bike park, I was struggling to make it safely down blue trails. Everyone else around me seemed to be having so much fun, while I was just wanting to make it down in one piece. Despite wondering if it's right for me, I decided I really wanted to enjoy it, so I would ride for fun, not push my luck. I made a short video documenting the progression I made over that season and the confidence I gained to make the trip out to Whistler in 2018, where I was once again confronted with this feeling of having stepped into something I am perhaps not made for. After all, everything is so much larger. The berms are huge, the jumps are massive, and I kept getting thrown forward when I would try to catch air. I get thrown around a bit on a couple jumps, so I lean back on the bike, preloading the rear suspension but not the front, compounding the issue. Eventually, you almost go over the bars. It's hard to enjoy the bike park when you're riding out of control. My plan to overcome this was the same as I had in Ontario. Essentially, ride off-park stuff until I feel confident enough on a big mountain that I can go back and ride park more comfortably. I went to Squamish and the North Shore, jaunted around Vancouver Island, but nothing really compares to Whistler's massive jump lines where I flail down and hope to make it in one piece. I did notice the confidence gain from the Hypnotoad made it less likely I'd be thrown around on jumps. Since I don't worry about getting thrown over, I actually preload the front fork and the rear as I jump into the air. So after my big road trip this season, I decided to go back to Whistler and face my fears. I just didn't realize my first challenge would be my fear of large crowds. I showed up right at the beginning of Crankworks and it was chaos. Walking across the village was exhausting, but it was kinda cool to see the endless lines of people. My next challenge would be to properly align the chest and helmet cameras I've chosen after giving up on my gimbal. My Hero 7 Black will capture chest footage, and the Hero 4 Black will sit on my helmet for a secondary view and cleaner audio. I know the colors don't really look the same, but we all know I suck at YouTubing anyway, so it is what it is. I don't seem to have any problem enjoying the park now that I've got my trusty Hypnotoad to guide me. The difference is a bit more noticeable than I thought it would be. I'm not sure if the glory is better balanced than the trance, or if it really is just that 200 millimeters of confidence allowing me to feel safe as I launch off of steep lips. And honestly, it helps me better understand a lot of the features I see in the park. At the same time, the dual crown fork almost felt like cheating. Cheating on my other bike, mostly. I wondered if this means I had it in me all along, and it didn't matter which bike I ride. And yet, I think if I rode this again on the trance, I'd be feeling unstable all over again. It seems to me that a lot of the skill in mountain biking simply comes from trying something and succeeding, and then a similar looking but larger feature, applying the same lessons you learned before. If that's true, I should be able to ride my trance down steeper terrain after riding the glory for a while, right? When I'm riding the Hypnotoad, I feel almost invincible, and sorta like I can fly. I do admit though, there's times a bike just can't do everything for you. Some things are scary no matter what you're riding. I find myself pushing limits and looking for the most gnarly line with the most roots to blast through, so I can take full advantage of the super squishy suspension. Whistler is built on that feeling of seeking out larger and bigger hits, and so far, I haven't found another place like it. I managed to clear every jump on Crank It Up and Seymour, but I'm still just not ready for A-Line. I went through the tech trail list, and somewhere around, no joke, I had the sudden realization that I was probably going to die if I keep this up. Maybe I'll hit A-line someday if I'm riding with a friend, but the risk versus reward to me is just not great enough at this moment. It's all about having fun, and I think I can do more of that with fewer injuries. I could probably use a few more lessons with my coach on the island as well, considering I totally beefed this simple drop by not committing to the move. Left a painfully deep hole in my shin that took about 4 months to heal. Maybe there's something to this clipless trend after all. Oh, fuck, man. Don't go off that. When my Whistler Progression Challenge came to an end, so did my downhill riding season. But not to worry, because next up will be a brand new trail build series with new challenges to overcome. Until next time, you know what to do. Go ride.